Maharaj, welcome to this program. Now we are live again on Facebook and as well as on YouTube.
I first of all want to thank you, give me a chance to speak something about Guruji, to invite me to this program. I think mostly this is Indian devotees. I see practically only Indian faces, so I'm very honored to be one of the non-Indian speakers. I hope everyone speaks English and can understand me.
Maharaj, we have arranged for translation in Hindi also. I've shared the link here as well as on the group. The link is here for everyone. Those who want to listen to the translation, they can click on this link. Maharaj will be speaking in English. So please click on the link and you can hear what Maharaj is saying. Maharaj has done a lot of association with Pujyapat Bhaktivedanta Gour Govind Maharaj. So don't miss it. We are going to hear a lot of good things from Maharaj. Dandavat Pranam Maharaj, you can start and you can take extra time because we took 20 minutes in the Kirtan today. So it's already 9:20. So maybe we can go till 10:20 if you're okay.
Okay, Acha.
Oh, you speak Hindi also? Oh my God. That's really nice.
No, just a few words.
Okay.
Just enough when I'm in India to get by, in the street or buying things. But
other day, Braj Mohan Prabhu spoke the whole program in Hindi, 2 hours.
Yeah,
yes.
He lived in India many years and he picked up Hindi and Bengali, from young age. Yes.
Yes. Okay, Maharaj, you can start whenever.
Yes. First of all, I want to affirm my obeisance to the Lord's feet of my spiritual masters, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gour Govind Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, all the Rupanuga Guru Varga, Srila Bhaktivedanta Madhusudan Maharaj, my present Siksha Guru, Srimati Krishna Priya Thakurani, and all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. Please accept my humble obeisances. I'm very much honored. I first met Srila Gour Govind Maharaj in 1975. At that time, I didn't know who he was. It was the opening of the Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan, ISKCON, and Prabhupada gave sannyas to one person, one Indian devotee. And that Indian devotee was Srila Gour Govind Maharaj. So I saw him taking sannyas, but at that time I didn't know that he would be one of my one of the greatest pillars in my life, in my spiritual life. Then again, I met him the next time in 85 in Paris. One devotee, Harivilas Prabhu, my godbrother, he was running a spiritual sky business. And he was giving donations to poor countries to help them printing books and in their project. So he had given money to Srila Gour Govind Maharaj to print the first book in Uriya. So that year, when Gour Govind Maharaj for the first time went to the West, he requested the devotees in Paris, I want to go and thank personally Harivilas Prabhu for his kind donation. And he said jokingly, and I want to ask him another one. So he was driven to the factory where Harivilas was also living at his house next to it. At that time, we were making like a revolution, or we wanted to remain in France, remain in ISKCON, but we didn't want to remain under our present GBC, Bhagavan Das, who fell down the next year, actually. But we wanted to stay in ISKCON. So I was typing the manifesto to the GBC, asking all our points. And then some or other, I ran out of ink. So I had to go back to the main house, ask for help. And when I went to the main house, I saw, because at that time there was about 40 of us, like the revolutionaries, it was the headquarters of the revolution, you could say. So I saw everyone was just sitting, and then one senior person was speaking. So I just came and sat at the back. I didn't want to interrupt anything. And it was Srila Gour Govind Maharaj. I just caught the last 10 minutes of the lecture. And I never heard someone speaking like that. I was very much impressed. At that time, I was thinking that if this thing with the GBC doesn't work, then I will probably join Gojama, join Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj. I had a few friends already with him. And I had decided if this doesn't work, I will join Gojama. Although I didn't want to leave ISKCON. I had so many doubts and consciousness crisis because ISKCON is the house of my guru, Srila Prabhupada. But no, it was becoming too difficult, too much politics. So after the 10 minutes of the class, when Srila Gour Maharaj left back to a room, they gave him he could rest. So I asked Harivilas Prabhu, oh, who is this nice sadhu from Gaudiya Math? No, he said, no, he's not from Gaudiya Math. He's our god brother. He's Srila Gour Govind Maharaj. He's ISKCON. And I remember at that time I thought, oh, as long as we have one sadhu like that in ISKCON, I don't have to leave. And it was just catching 10 minutes of his lecture, just the last. I remember I asked a question. No, I have forgotten. It is back in 85. I don't have such a good memory. And but I was so satisfied with the answer. I was convinced, yes, I'm going to Gaudiya Math. But actually, he was ISKCON, so I didn't have to go to Gaudiya Math. So I remained in ISKCON for him. Actually, for me, he was ISKCON. No, as soon as he left, I left, and at that time, Srila Maharaj had already left, but Srila Prabhupada had told us that we could approach Srila Maharaj or Srila Narayan Maharaj. So as soon as we put Srila Gour Govind Maharaj in Samadhi, next day I jumped on the train and went to Mathura and then took shelter of Srila Narayan Maharaj immediately. I had seen too many politics, too many, all the problems they gave to Guru Maharaj, Srila Gour Govind Maharaj. I didn't have faith anymore in anyone. Therefore, I took shelter of Srila Narayan Maharaj. And then next year, Srila Gour Maharaj came back to France. First, I saw him in Mayapur. That was 86. And I remember when I came there, he was sitting in a room. There were 4 Indian gurus. The Western gurus, they had this big apartment, suite with attached bathroom, attached kitchen. But the Indian gurus, they were living like brahmacharis in the long building, that big, in Mayapur. And when I came, Srila Gour Maharaj was speaking on Guru Tattva, which later on I could understand was his main theme or his favorite theme. So one disciple of Amsaduta Prabhu who had fallen down, he said, Srila Gour Govind Maharaj, just when I came in, oh, I was initiated by Amsaduta Maharaj. And Srila Gurudev, Srila Gour Maharaj just cut him. Take it as a dream. No, but Maharaj, I have kept very good relationship with him. No, take it as a dream, I said. This initiation never took place. And I was like amazed. Wow, this is so potent, so powerful. And then he started to explain that when the Guru falls, all his initiations are invalidated, all the mantras he has given are invalidated. So one should take shelter of a real Guru. So that was like my second introduction to him. So directly in the heart of Guru Tattva, like this. He actually was speaking so much on that theme. At one point, I asked him, why you always speaking on that theme? And he said, because this is the most urgent need of the day. Guru Tattva, which is the most holy Vaishnava institution, in ISKCON it has become reduced to nothing. Later on, in 95, a few months before leaving, he told me it has been reduced to Prachana Ridvigvad, covered Ridvigvad. Like Mayavad is Prachana Bodha, covered Buddhism. So he said Prachana Ridvigvad, covered Ridvigvad. Officially, you have your guru, but actually Prabhupada is your guru. And the gurus, they're like priests initiating in the name of Prabhupada or in the name of ISKCON, but actually Prabhupada is the guru. So he said, this is very, very disturbing. Because many times he had told me, Prabhupada told me, cooperate, cooperate, tolerate, tolerate. And then I asked him that day when he told me that, when does it become intolerable? And he said, when the Vaishnava Siddhanta is baffled, is not respected anymore. And he said, in Jiva Tattva, they are wrong. They have voted the Siddhanta that we fall from the spiritual world. Gora Tattva, they're not very familiar with it. And no, Guru Tattva, the most important Tattva, they're completely wrong. No. So I am thinking maybe I will live. But then he told me something that I only understood later on. He said, but don't leave ISKCON before 96. And he told this to a few devotees later on, I heard. I couldn't understand. He didn't explain. He said, don't leave ISKCON before 96. No. Only later on when he left, no, in March 96, no, on Gopunim, like no, Sripad Muni Maharaj just mentioned, his departure was so amazing. Actually, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, one of the godbrothers of Prabhupada, he said, I cannot remember anyone no, in our Goja Vaishnav no, line who was left in such an amazing way, living in Mayapur on such a day, no, and speaking such katha. Like Muni Maharaj just nicely explained, he was speaking the topmost katha. Two ladies, two Siksha disciples of two disciples of Prabhupada who were Siksha disciples of Srila Narayan Maharaj, they came to ask him, why did Mahaprabhu remain in Puri? So this was like opening, you know, a box of nectar for Srila Gour Govind Maharaj, and he started to speak, you know, and then this came to that amazing lila. You know, after so long separation, finally, Radha and Krishna are meeting. You know, Krishna has, Srimati Radhika has fainted. So one of her Saki is telling, oh, you beloved has come. And then she is coming back to consciousness. And Krishna also at that time, out of emotion, he faints. And he takes the form of Jagannath with no big dilated eyes out of ecstasy. And then one of his friends also is reviving him. Oh, you beloved Noah has waken up. So I remember Srila Gour said, no, so they both looked at each other, and after so long separations, there was eye-to-eye union. No more separation. All the separation evaporated like that. And just at that moment, he entered into trance. Devotees said that he had manifested symptoms of bhav, and he said, please excuse me, I cannot speak anymore. And then the two ladies, they bowed down and they left. And then Guru Maharaj laid down on his back. Then just he unbuttoned his shirt. He took his little picture of Gopalji, his dear deity that he was always carrying with him. Then he sat and he said, oh, kirtan karo, do kirtan. And during that kirtan, he left. So this is just such amazing. Everything in his life actually was amazing. From what I've heard, his early years, coming to such a dynasty of pure devotees. One time he told me, from my mother's side, they are pure devotees for many centuries. And already so young, participating with his uncles to all the kirtan programs, and then studying Bhagavatam, giving Bhagavad Path, speaking on Bhagavatam when he was 8 years old in his village. That was amazing. When he joined, he didn't join not knowing anything about Krishna consciousness. No, he joined because he wanted to find a sadhu who could spread the glories of the Mahamantra and Mahaprabhu all over the world. And then when he came to Prabhupada, he found what he was looking for. When he came, he was already a scholar in Vaishnavism. Already he had read all the books. And the first meeting with Prabhupada, probably you've heard, because he was dressed in saffron, like so many sadhus traveling. Prabhupada asked him, oh, you have come? Oh, have you taken sannyas? No, I'll give you sannyas. First words. First words. This kind of amazing, encounter. And one time he told me privately, oh, in this life, I did not see Srila Prabhupada many times. He mentioned in this life. So meaning that they knew each other from a different time. So he came back to France in 86. And then I was living in the south of France at that time. So I came up to Paris and I was translating his lectures. And at that time, I had been in America for a few years. And when I came back from America, no, Tamal Krishna Maharaj had told me that Prabhupada never made them gurus. So I could not stay in America and making disciples for him, which was my seva. So I came back to France and I wanted to make a revolution. No, some people say the French people, we have this in the blood. I don't know. So, but when I met Srila Gour Govind Maharaj, I was so amazed. I was not hoping anymore such a person would exist. I was not hoping. I was praying to Prabhupada because my service was to preach and make devotees, quote unquote. I mean, to find people who were ready to become devotees and preach to them. But I had given up faith, in the ISKCON gurus because one of them told me Prabhupada never met us gurus. So I started to pray to Prabhupada, please, send me a sadhu to whom I can send the new disciples. Because this is my seva. I don't know to do anything else except to preach and chant. And then after some time, I started to think, well, but no, in whom do you have faith? Yourself personally. And I realized that I didn't have faith anymore in anyone in ISKCON because I had seen too much politics. So I started to pray to Prabhupada for myself. As they say in English, charity begins at home. So I started to pray, Prabhupada, please send me one nice sadhu for myself. At that time, the idea of Siksha Guru was not very clear. In ISKCON, particularly, nobody would use those terms. Although Prabhupada speaks about it at length in the first chapter of Adilila, but nobody was using that term. Nobody was speaking like this in those days. But actually, I was praying, Prabhupada, please send me a Siksha Guru. And I remember the first time Gour Govind Maharaj came, first class, I started to translate. First, he spoke for 40 minutes about the Ratha Yatra in general. And then after 40 minutes, he said, no, let's begin class. So I was thinking, what was that? After 40 minutes of introduction, he said, no, let's start the class. And he spoke for about 2 hours, and I was translating. And then the next day again, giving class. And when he was giving class, he would pick on me. He would say, hey, what do you have to say to that? What is your answer? Oh, bolo. And I was thinking, this is very strange. I have been translating many lectures from Swamis, from English to French, but they were never getting on my case or directly attacking me like this in the class. So after the class, I went up to his room and I asked Maharaj, I understand that you want me to really understand what you say in English so I can translate in French, all the ideas, all the concepts. But it seems to me that there is something more than that. Then he's asking me, answering tit for tat, are you not praying Prabhupada for this? So I was saying, how does he know that I'm praying Prabhupada? No. And then he started to down in my thick brain, oh, maybe he's the person I've been praying for. So I started to ask him question, what is the niti? What is the etiquette with Siksha Guru? And he said, no. Don't start to see me as anyone special. You were praying to Prabhupada for help, and he has asked me personally to help you. So when he said that, I was like so much moved, because I thought, I'm praying to Prabhupada in my heart, but he's speaking directly to Prabhupada. Prabhupada told him, help this fallen person. Then at that time, I asked him, oh, Maharaj, I'm a very fallen person. I need special mercy. Can you consider accepting me as a Siksha disciple? No, Siksha disciple. And he said, oh, you should pray to Mahaprabhu, he's very merciful. So I was thinking, oh, he's politely rejecting me because I'm so unworthy. And the next day, he gave class on Guru Tattva. And during that class, he said that, oh, Guru is Radha Priya Saki. The Guru is a dear, that was his language, a dear girl companion of Krishna, of Radharani, Radha Priya Saki. So I was translating, and at the end of the class, when he went back into his room, one devotee started some accusation. Oh, have you heard what he said? He said the Guru is Radha Priya Saki, but himself is a Guru, so he's not presenting himself as such. And I said, you idiot, he's speaking Vaishnava philosophy. Why do you start to accuse him? Have you ever heard such a flow of nectar before in your life? Never. But no, French are very political, and then two sides started to argue. And then for half an hour, I was trying to convince everyone, shut up. He's just a Vaishnav speaking Vaishnav philosophy. He's not speaking about himself. Why do you accuse him like that? But some people became really offensive, and I left and I went to him. I went back to him. Actually, I went back to him to clear my mind, my own mind, from the contamination I had heard. I felt contaminated by those. I said, this is such a nice sadhu. I never met such a person after Prabhupada, waiting for so many years not to meet another great sadhu. And now those idiots, they are blaspheming him. So I went to him to clear. And I came into his room and then said, Maharaj, now the way you spoke, some people could misunderstand that maybe because you are yourself a guru, when you say the guru is like that, then they could think that you're speaking about yourself. And he looked at me with such a horrified look that he said, no, how could they suspect? And he said, but I am simply speaking of Vaishnav Siddhanta. Do they want me to keep mum? And he did like this with his fingers. In France, we did like this, but I guess in Orissa, they do like that. I don't know, 2 fingers. They want me to keep mum. And at that time, I thought, oh, Prabhu, you have offended a saint. In the name of purifying yourself, just by speaking those words, you've offended him. And in my mind, there was a story of Pundarika Vidyanidhi, to whom Mahaprabhu had sent Gadadhar Pandit, to inquire, to listen to Harikatha. But when Gadadhar Pandit came in the house of Pundarika Vidyanidhi, he saw that he was living like a Vishayi, with long hair, with oil and so many rings to his fingers and so many nice furnitures, and he had like a golden hookah, and he looked like a sense enjoyer. So in his mind, Gadadhar Pandit thought, but this is a Vishayi. Why Mahaprabhu sent me to listen Harikatha from him? At that time, Mukunda Dat, who was there, he read the mind of Gadadhar Pandit, and he uttered one verse. Aho Baka, how is it, oh merciful is Krishna, that when the sister of Bakasura Putana came to poison him, because she came as a mother, he gave her the position of Datri in the spiritual world. Who can find such a master? As soon as Pundarika Vidyanidhi heard this, he started to roll on the ground, crying, pulling his hair, kicking the precious furniture, breaking his golden hookah. And Gadadhar Pandit said, oh Lord, I have offended the sadhu. And he left and he went back to Mahaprabhu and told him the whole story. And he said, I think I've offended him, and I should I think to become free from the offense, I must accept him as my guru and receive his chastisement, his sashan. So Mahaprabhu said, yes, very good. So Gadadhar Pandit in this way went back and took initiation from Pundarika Vidyanidhi. Gadadhar Pandit, we know that is Radhika herself coming to accompany Mahaprabhu, and Pundarika Vidyanidhi in Krishna Lila is Radhika's father, Vrishabhanu Maharaj. So it's only befitting on the side story that Radhika would take initiation from her father in that Lila. So that Lila was rushing through my mind. I was thinking, I have to be accepted by him, as a disciple. I have to be accepted. So I asked him again, Maharaj, did you consider my request of yesterday? And he looked at me and he said, you have already been accepted. So at that time, I was sitting, he was sitting on a very thin mattress, and I was sitting at his feet, but almost touching him. So at that time, because I had just been listening like to half an hour, maybe more of Poison, there was still like a lingering doubt in my mind. Oh, but maybe I'm painting him like a perfect person because I want a perfect person. So I started to pray as sincerely as a rascal like me can pray, as deep as possible in my heart. Please, Krishna, don't cheat me. Give me a real sadhu. And then as I was praying in silence, but Srila Gour Govind started to answer in verbal. Yes, what you asking, take, Krishna is giving. And I was praying, and he was answering to my prayers, verbally. Yes, don't be desperate. What Krishna is giving, you should take the offer. Then I said, but Maharaj, that what Prabhupada says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that Paramatma inside is taking the body outside as a guru, you're making me touch that reality. You're making me realize that verse. And he said, yes, this is a Vaishnava process. Don't have doubts. Don't be desperate. So at that time, I decided, no, anyone can say anything about him, but no one can take away that intimate dealing we just had. He was right there in my heart, reading it like an open book and answering my silent prayer verbally, like if he was listening inside. So at that point, I was fully convinced, he's my life and soul. And he went to America. Unfortunately, he became sick. He didn't come back. He was supposed to come back and come to the south of France, to our ashram. We had a small community in the south of France. Unfortunately, he could not come back. He went straight back to India. And then that was 86. I did not see him until 1990 when I went for the temple opening in Bhubaneswar. At that time, in meantime, I had no more children. He was supposed to come. Then he was not coming. I was supposed to go, but the wife was pregnant, so I didn't go, this or that. So we had a lot of writings. I was writing to him all the time. So I have a big correspondence with him. But I only saw him again face to face in 1990 for the temple opening of Bhubaneswar. In 86, when it was Prabhupada's festival, and Mahaprabhu's centennial. So after seeing him in Mayapur, he went back to Bhubaneswar, and with a couple of devotees, we went to see him. And Bhubaneswar at that time, the temple was just a skeleton, with concrete and iron spikes, like a construction site, right? And he gave us a whole afternoon. He received us so nicely and spoke to us so nice. And then the couple I was with, they decided, because both of them, they had been initiated by Bhagavan. They decided, this is our guru, so we will take from him. Afterwards, they separated. She took initiation from him. And I went back to Mayapur for the rest of the festival. And Ari Vilas at that time was there, and he said, let's go to Bhubaneswar, see Gour Govind Maharaj. I said, I just saw him. No, come on, let's go again. So again, I went to see him. And again, he gave us a few hours of his precious time. And I was convinced, now when I go back to France and preach, I know to whom I can send the new people, the new devotees. I was fully convinced. And when he came, and he accepted me as a Siksha disciple, I had that experience. Nothing could dissuade me from accepting him and connecting with him like that. Unfortunately, for many years, I could not see him. We just corresponded. For me, he was a personification of that verse from Padma Puran, which says, Yasya deve parabhaktir yasadeve tata guru. To one who has the same devotion to Guru and Krishna, all the import of the Vedas is revealed in his heart. So for me, he was a personification of that verse. He had so much attachment to Prabhupada, so much devotion. Prabhupada gave him a very difficult task. You should open a temple in that out of the way place. I remember when I came the first time in Nayapali, at the temple, it was even hard to find a rickshaw to take us there. We went from the station, we took a train from the station. We asked, some people didn't even know where it was. And finally we got a rickshaw, we took us there, and it was like such a wild place. There was like no houses around, just some huts, and it was very, very austere. And he had been living there for so long, so renounced. He was Yatiraj, he was like the king of the sannyasis. He would be so renounced, taking only one meal a day. When I saw him in Paris, the two times, he was very thin. After when he became sick, then, that transcendental sickness that he developed, the doctors, they told him he should eat 3 times a day. So when I saw him, he had like double size. No, he was to be so thin, and now it became very large and imposant. No? And he said, yes, he was only eating because the doctor said you have to eat, and because they also gave him some some medicine which gives you water retention, corticoids, something like that. No, so his body was like inflated like that. But no, he was just a mountain of renunciation. He was so renounced. Every day he would eat the same thing: boiled chapatis, dalma, and some chena. No sweets, nothing, just a little sugar with the chena, with the paneer, fresh paneer. Very, very renounced. No. But it was so renounced when his own children came asking him to come back. No, he would send them away. His son, one of his sons, would come at the gate and shout and say, you have to come back. Why did you leave us? And he would just say, go away. And then because he was a teacher, school teacher, he was entitled to have a pension by the government. And when he left the family, he didn't make any arrangement for their survival. So he had 7 children, and they were like kind of quite poor. So the one of his children asked him, please sign this paper so that mother can get your pension from the government. And he said, this is from another life. I will not sign. No, this is not from this life. No, I have nothing to do with this person and with you. No, this is from a different life. So detached. Only when Bhagavat Maharaj convinced him that, oh, but Prabhupada, he asked me to personally make arrangements for an apartment for his wife, in Calcutta, and pay the rent for it and give some money every month from ISKCON funds. Only at that time then he agreed, oh, really, Prabhupada did like that. So at that time he signed. But he was so renounced, so detached. No, nothing to do. This is from another life. Ideal sannyasi. Amazing. And an ocean of compassion. I mean, his heart was so vast. There was no limit to his compassion. No. And when he would give class, it was like going to a full meal. No. Full meal. First, he wanted us to attend the Uriya class, although we didn't understand Uriya, but he said, no, you must listen. No, Shabda Brahma doesn't consider the language. If you really want to understand, I think Krishna will make you understand. So we would attend the Uriya class, then the English class. So the whole morning would be in the class, listening to him speaking. Then after coming out from the class, he would turn to me and say, oh, okay, throw a subject on the table. What shall we speak about now? And then from the time he would get up from his Vyasasan down to his hut, sometimes it would take half an hour. No, because he would speak, he would stop on the staircase. No, this royal staircase for us. And then come and sit in front of his hut in his chair, another 10-15 minutes, and then around like almost 12 o'clock, he would just, please excuse me, and he would go out in his. So the whole morning was packed with his Krishna Katha, solid food, and any subject he would touch, he would make it alive. I mean, I've never seen anyone do like that. No, like Chaitanya Charitamrita, he knew every dialogue in Chaitanya Charitamrita. He could play the part of anyone. I remember when he was speaking of Brahmanda Bharati was with a deer skin, and Mahaprabhu did not agree, didn't approve. So there's a dialogue that, and he could play the part of Mahaprabhu, the part of Brahmanda Bharati, the part of everyone, and make the whole thing like live in front of you. Any lila he would touch, he would speak in such a way that you were convinced, but he has not heard this lila. He has seen that lila, or he's seen it, and he's describing what he's seen. No, this is very rare among person. At least in his count before, no one had ever spoken like that. When his book came out, The Embankment of Separation, this really consecrated him as like the most advanced devotee in all of his count. No one had ever spoken like this. The topics, he was touching there. I mean, no one ever heard of this, like the greed of the Lord. It was one article he had written, for Back to Godhead. How Nishangade became greedy when he saw the affection of Prahlad for himself. He was thinking of, but I have no parents. My parents are a pillar. So he was seeing the Lord had that greed to experience Vatsalya. And then from that incarnation, he has accepted parents. Up to Nishringa, Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, they don't accept parents. But Nishinga either. But after, they accept parents. So those things, nobody knew, nobody ever heard that. I mean, when I compare to whatever class I had heard before, and that the other class I heard from after him, but not from sadhus of his caliber, it was like such an amazing thing. And the first teaching he gave was aparavichar and tadvavichar. What is the difference between apparent consideration and real consideration? Now, that was like his first teaching. And also, he was the first one to establish that the jiva, the tatastha jivas, they don't fall from the spiritual world. I remember when he came back from one GBC meeting, he was very, very grave. He said, a GBC meeting, you cannot imagine. This is the most unspiritual place. So much politics and backbiting and lobbying. And then this year, do you know what they did? They voted on the Siddhanta. And he made a joke. By vote, a goat becomes a dog. Or some Bengali story. There's 5 men are looking. Oh, this is a goat. No, this is a dog. No, it's a goat. No, okay, let's put it to votes. And by votes, three people say it's a dog, 2 people say it's a goat, but the goat has become a dog by vote. So he said the same way. It is clear in all of Shastra that the jiva doesn't fall from the spiritual world. It's impossible. Prema cannot be covered. Prema by nature is like an elephant, a lion killing an elephant and feeding and becoming stronger from eating the elephant. So whenever there is obstacles to prema, prema becomes stronger. So how can prema be covered? This is not a Vaishnava philosophy. Actually, this is Mayavad. To think that prema could be covered by Maya. Nobody can fall from the spiritual world. But he was the only person who was speaking like this. And he was condemned by everyone. He was officially, we fall from the spiritual world. Also, he was the first one to develop so much, the theme of Guru Tattva. Before him, nobody was saying that Guru must be a Premi Bhakta. Actually, before him, I never heard anyone use that word, Premi Bhakta. He was introducing us to all this Vaishnava vocabulary, we people from the West. And never before did I hear anyone speaking this word, Premi Bhakta. And that the Guru is Radha Priya Saki, and only such a Guru can give you Krishna. You say, Guru was only 50% Krishna. How much can he give you Krishna? He must have Krishna 100%. And he was revealing, in the line of Gurus, Radhika, she is topmost. And he revealed to us, even Krishna says, Radhika Premira Guru, Ami Shishyanat. In loving affairs, Radhika is my Guru, and she's my dance teacher, and I'm a dance student, and I'm dancing according to her orders. So say Krishna is worshipped by everyone, but Krishna himself is worshipping Srimati Radhika. One time he said the gopis were joking with Krishna. Oh, Krishna, you always speak like you're so learned, but you don't even have a guru. Krishna said, yes, of course I have a guru. Oh, who is your guru? Baguri Rishi. And what mantra did you receive? And Krishna, very shy, he lowered his head, he said, Radha mantra. So that the gopis was, you're chanting the name of our Swamini, like this. So he was revealing to us things that we had never heard. One time a week, he would give one class on Rasa Tattva. No. And then he would say, no, one time I told him, but do you know on which level we are? And you speak in all those high things. He said, yes, but you are the students that Krishna sent me. What can I say? No, I'm praying that it turns you from crows into Garudas. And also I have that curse on my head. If I don't speak, I will die. I have to speak those things. No. He also explained to us how knowledge or awareness of the Lord's greatness of his Bhagavata, automatically this is causing one's relationship with Krishna to be, you would say, Aishwarya Prema Shitila or Prema Sankuchita. Prem becomes like shrunken or weakened, because automatically, if you know that Krishna is God, you will have feelings of reverence, of fear, of duty, or obligation. And if you forget that Krishna is God, all this opens automatically the door to natural affection, intimacy. This is there in Chaitanya Charitamrita, 4th chapter. I had read it so many times before, but I'd never clicked on this. And he put like a magnifying glass on that chapter and those words of Krishna. When Krishna says, no, the whole world is worshiping me, according to Vedic Bhakti, but this kind of love cannot control me. But one of my sweethearts is chiding me in Prem Kalaha, in loving quarrel. Oh, this steal away my mind from the pompous hymns of the Vedas. No, he quoted that. I had read it before, it never clicked. No, I read it, but there was no life in it. He made it come alive. That's why he was saying, you have to listen to the Bhagavatam from a Tattva Acharya. Now, later on, Srila Narayana Maharaj accepted as my Siksha Guru and Sannyas Guru. He was also using that thing. You have to accept Rasik Tadvavit, Braja Rasik Tadvavit Acharya. Srila Gour Govind Maharaj was very Tattva Acharya. No, he could develop any theme. No, one time he told me how he had been studying. Whenever he would read Prabhupada's books, whenever Prabhupada would make a quote, Srila Gour Govind Maharaj would go to the original book of that quote, whatever Purana or writing of the Goswamis, and he would read the whole passage, the verses before, the verses after, and he would write them down in a small book. And when he would come to class, that was his specialty, he would come with his servant carrying 2 packs of notebooks in a cloth, and he would put them next to him, and he would open the cloth, and it was like his computer. Just like on a computer, you click and you open a new window. So he would go into one of his books, read something, and that would send him to another book. So he would put that other book, and this way. And every class, like I said, was like a complete meal. Not just, some nice things, but no, like we are accustomed to hear usually in the temple. Some good class, but nothing really, giving you like so much enthusiasm. But there, his class was like so solid, like I said, like a real meal. And you would feel, I remember one time also, just like he had read my mind or my heart when I was praying in Paris, and he was answering. So the same way, in any lecture, any time given, he could read your mind like an open book. It was just amazing. Now, at that time, I was a grihasta. I had a lot of children, large family. I had a beautiful wife, and so I was attached, like every household, every grihasta, maybe more grihamedi than grihasta. And he was speaking on detachment, renunciation. So he was going not to a high level, then speaking even higher, then higher, then higher, then higher. And I was thinking, oh my God, what I am doing here? Why I make myself believe that I want more mercy than the others? Who is so crazy to come with a whole family with babies in diapers, 5 children for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months in Bhubaneswar, or renting a house, and then coming to class and then having to tolerate everything about India, which is so foreign to us Westerners. Who is crazy like that? So I was saying, maybe I should just go back to my, I had a beautiful house in France with 32 acres of land, and I should just go back to my house and just be a normal person, enjoy life like in a befitting way. And just I was thinking like that, Srila Gour Govind Maharaj stopped the class and he looked at me and said, "Oh, so eating stool in your mind and enjoying?" That was his expression. Sense gratification, he called it eating stool in the mind. So eating stool in the mind and enjoying, can you share with us? Nice taste? Can you tell? So embarrassing. But at the same time, by doing this, it was like operating. I remember every year in France, I would think, okay, now time to go back to Bhubaneswar and go again on the operation table for another term. Because we have this chronic disease of material attachment. So, okay, time to go back and get operated. So he would operate you, but like in India, in public. Like in Indian village, you go to the doctor. If it's a lady, maybe he will close the curtain. But otherwise not. He will just operate whatever you have in front of everyone. The whole room is full of people waiting, and he would do that. One time I had some a kidney stone in Delhi. I went to the hospital. There was a big line, people fighting in the line. They tell me, okay, buy this medicine in the hospital dispensary, go to the next room and ask the nurse to give you an injection. So I did like that, went to the next room. There was like 40 people and 2 beds. And people were pushing each other from the bed. So the nurse, she pushed somebody, made me lie on the bed, gave me a shot. So Gour Govind Maharaj was operating like this in public, in front of everyone. I mean, in the West, they don't ask you to put down your pant and then in front of everyone give you a shot in your buttocks. But in India, no problem. The lady just pushed everyone and just. So Gour Govind Maharaj was doing like that, operating like heart open surgery. And his anesthetics, his laughter, like ocean. Because he was doing this out of pure compassion. I remember so many times I saw him doing this on me and others. But when you were coming out from the operation room, and he would come back into his room after the darshan, I was thinking, where such mercy can be found? Where will I meet such a person who will take his precious time to operate on a sinful rascal like me year after year? Where to find such mercy? He was so compassionate. In his presence, bhakti was coming alive. He made bhakti so easy. I remember Srila Prabhupada, when he came to New Mayapur, I'm living now about 25 kilometers from that ISKCON New Mayapur temple. The famous class he gave in 1976, where is the difficulty? To be Krishna conscious like the Pandavas, like Mother Yashoda, where is the difficulty? And Prabhupada asked again and again during the class. And because Prabhupada was there, by his very presence, he made us think like, no, there is no difficulty. Is there any difficulty? No, Prabhupada, no difficulty. And Srila Gour Govind Maharaj was exactly like that. Exactly like that. Some people, they told me, oh, you're speaking more about Gour Govind Maharaj than about Prabhupada. I said, you don't understand that Sri Guru is one. Guru is one. There's only one Guru, Krishna, Jagat Guru, Vande Krishna, Jagat Guru. But he's appearing in the form of the different Gurus. Like Srila Gour Maharaj taught us, there is Samasti Guru, what Srila Narayana Maharaj used to call Akanda Guru Tattva, Lord Baladev. And there is Vyasti Guru, the individual Gurus. Samasti Guru, Vyasti Guru. Akanda Guru Tattva, individual Guru. So Vyasti Guru, he appears as, the Samasti Guru, the original Guru, Baladev, Krishna, he appears in the form of every individual Guru. So only the form is different, the name is different, but the message is the same. So what to speak, when I left ISKCON, went to Srila Narayana Maharaj. So many people wrote to me, oh, you're betraying Prabhupada, why you're leaving Prabhupada? I said, no, I'm not leaving Prabhupada. No, I'm going deeper into his teaching by the help of one of his dear friends. Don't make it a political issue. Don't make it, don't try to make it a sentimental political issue, or you're leaving Prabhupada. No, Guru is one coming in different shapes. And Srila Gour Govind Maharaj, he gave me that realization. No, I took initiation from Prabhupada in 74. I saw him first time in 72, then joined in 73. But I was 10 years, I had about 10 years association with Gour Govind Maharaj. Part of it was through mail, like I said. And then with Narayan Maharaj, I spent 15 years. But out of those three gurus, I'm more attached to Srila Gour Govind Maharaj. Actually, I was telling Srila Narayan Maharaj, I'm lamenting because I would like to be as much attached to you as I was with Gour Govind Maharaj. But no, he said, no, that's okay. He's your main guru. No, he's your main guru. You don't, no. But he really made us realize this, that Guru Tattva is one. He was speaking so much on Guru Tattva, so much. No. And when I wrote a small magazine about this, he encouraged me. He read it, no, and he said, print it on the Temple Press, go and distribute, they cannot defeat it. Because it was just a compilation practically of his teachings on Guru Tattva with different quotes from our acharyas. No. So it was so encouraging. No. And whoever told us that we could utilize greed? No. Greed, we're told, lust, greed, and anger, they are the three gates to hell, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. But he said, no, you can use greed. No. And he quoted Narottam Thakur in Prarthana, which says, oh, Lobha Sadhu Sangha. You should utilize greed for Sadhu Sangha. Be greedy for Sadhu Sangha. One time when he came to France, he gave a class and he said, what is a bad day? For most people, a bad day is a day without sense gratification. But for a devotee, a bad day is a day without Sadhu Sangha. Oh, very bad day. Oh, today's no Sadhu Sangha. So you have to develop greed. That is a proper use of greed. And if you're greedy for Sadhu Sangha, then Krishna will send you. And by Sadhu Sangha, you will get everything. No. He was amazing in the sense that he could take one point in Prabhupada's books, Prabhupada purport, just one line, and pull out from it the most amazing teachings. Like a magician, they see magician, he has this big hat and he pulls a bird or a rabbit or so many things from the hat. And so how can he pull those things from the hat? So Srila Gour Govind Maharaj, he would take one line of a purport and it turned out into the most amazing teachings. I'm thinking, for instance, in that, Prabhupada saying, oh, Bhakti, Bhagavan, and Bhakta don't belong to this world. There's a famous class, I think it is printed in one of his books, maybe in Mathura meets Vrindavan, maybe, something like that. And it gave this amazing lecture that actually Bhakti is a vritti of Swarup Shakti, the function of Swarup Shakti, and we are Tatastha Jivas. So Bhakti is not our original function. No, we have yogyata, we have ability to practice Bhakti, but it is not in us. Bhakti is not in the material world. No, Bhakti belongs to the spiritual world, the world of Swarup Shakti. So unless you get a guru who belongs to that Swarup Shakti, like he would say, Swarup Shakti Pushta Parikar, an associate of the Lord nourished with Swarup Shakti, how can you connect with the Lord? How can you get Bhakti? No, you have misused your independence, and now you are in the material world. How can you get Bhakti? Only by the mercy of Guru. And he would say that gurus, ideal gurus, they come down from the spiritual world. He said, you're not seen, but ropes are hanging. The sadhus, they come down in this world with a rope, just like you do, you scale a mountain and you use ropes like that. So he said, one end of the rope is tied at Krishna's feet, and then with the other end, the guru comes in this world. And then we are in this world like in a deep well. We've fallen into a deep, dry well, and the guru is sending us a rope. Hey, catch it tightly. I'm sending you a rope in the well. So he said the ropes are hanging. Sadhus are always there. They're the ornaments of this world. Just like the world could not exist without the sun and moon, So the universe could not exist without the sadhus. At least there's always one Bhagavat on earth. Otherwise, the world could not exist, could not survive. So sadhu is coming, and he said, the ropes are hanging, you don't see them. Those are the ropes of mercy. So Guru is saying, catch the rope. That is a rope of mercy, and that is a Guru's instruction. If you take hold of that rope tightly, then Guru can pull you out of the well of material existence. If not, if you say, Gurudev, I cannot catch it, then what can Guru do for you? He will not go down in the well. No. If you fall in the well, nobody will go down to pick you up. At best, you can hope somebody will send a rope, but nobody's going to go himself down inside the well to get you. So he said, Guru is like that. He's coming from the spiritual world and sending you this rope of mercy. I don't know how much time I have left, not much probably. So many things to speak. No. He would always say, I remember, repeat that phrase, take the right medicine from the right source. The right medicine is Harikatha, and the right source is a real sadhu. Someone who was a Premi Bhakta, someone who has bound Krishna in his heart with the ropes of love. He would use that verse very often. Krishna is saying to Ambarish, to Durvasa Muni, Lord Vishnu is saying to Durvasa Muni, Aham Bhakta Paradino Yasvatanta Ivadvija Sadhubir Grastaridayo Bhaktir Bhakta Janapriya. Best of the twice born, I am not independent. Everyone thinks I'm independent. No, I am completely dependent upon my pure devotees. They have tied me in their heart with a rope of love. What to speak of my bhakta? Even the bhakta of my bhakta is dear to me. So this is our hope, that if we are the bhaktas of such a sadhus, such a bhakta like Srila Gour Govind Maharaj, such a pure devotee, then Krishna will take this in consideration. Oh, he has served my pure devotee. I should send mercy to that person. So I want to offer my Pushpanjali at his lotus feet, praying that he will always keep me engaged in his service. There is a wonderful team in Australia, Nimai Pandit, who was his secretary for some time, and his good wife, Manjumeda Didi. She has taken shelter of Srila Narayan Maharaj. So they are publishing so many books. Tattva Vichar publication, they are the head of that team. They have other devotees helping, translating or transcribing, correcting, the proofreading. And whenever I used to go to Australia, I cannot travel anymore with the COVID, but I would spend like 2 months in their house and work on the books, editing on the books. They kept me engaged in the service of Guru Maharaj like this. So all glories to Srila Gour Govind Maharaj. All glories to his sincere followers and well-wishers and disciples. Thank you so much to give me the opportunity to speak a little bit about him. His glories are unlimited. In 1 hour, what can one say? It's like a dwarf trying to touch the moon. So much glories, unlimited. I've just touched a few of them.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much. I would like to say special thanks to Bhaktivedanta Ashram Maharaj also, because he's the one who guided me to you. I did not know that you know so much. You are done so much association with Pujapad Gour Govind Maharaj ji. But I approached Bhaktivedanta Ashram Maharaj, and he said, I'm busy, but you can always talk to Pujapad Bhaktivedanta Suddhadvaiti Maharaj. I said, oh, that's good. So now I feel so good that I talked to you and you speak here. And I'm amazed at what you spoke just now. It is really, my hair is standing just by talking this. So nice. Yeah,
then maybe Guru Maharaj was happy with me that I spoke something.
So beautiful, Maharaj. So beautiful.
You know something about among the sannyasis of Srila Narayan Maharaj, so many came from Bhubaneswar. Most of his Western sannyasis, actually, they came from the school of, between us, it was like a joke. We come from the good old school of Bhubaneswar.
Okay.
Muni Maharaj came from there, Bhagavat Maharaj came from there, Shoti Maharaj, Ashram Maharaj, myself, Aranya Maharaj, he came from there. Yes, so I mean,
you got a lot of them.
Yeah, a big list. I'm forgetting a few. They came through the school of Srila Gour Govind Maharaj.
But the way you spoke, it was really amazing, Maharaj. And I can see that how intelligent you are and how smart you are. The day the day he left, you immediately moved to the Bhakti with Narayan Maharaj. You didn't even waste a single day. I mean, you are only after the best sadhu sang.
Well,
So
it trained us, it drilled us. He said, as soon as Guru leaves, just like, when Shukadev Goswami left, not Shukadev Goswami, just like when Krishna left, immediately the parrot of Srimati Radhika, who became later on Shukadev Goswami, said, where to get the nectar? And when he heard that in Bhubaneswar, in Ekamra Marg, there was Shiva speaking Bhagavad Gita to Parvati, immediately flew there.
Yeah. So you're done like that, totally, I can see.
So he told us, as soon as you should always be greedy, where is the nectar flowing? And it's true, when one has become addicted to the kind of nectar flowing from the lotus mouth of Srila Gour Govind Maharaj, then you cannot live without it. No, if someone just gives a regular class, it's like, I'm addicted to nectar and you're giving me like straw to eat. No, I don't want straw. I'm not a cow. I want nectar. Why you give straw?
I think it requires very, very extraordinary eyes to find out where the nectar is and where the straw is. A lot of among people like us, we are not able to differentiate, and you are so good at this one. Like you said in the beginning, you just heard that last 10 minutes of Maharaj's lecture, and then you made up your mind. If one sadhu like this is there, I don't have to leave ISKCON. Yeah. So in those 10 minutes, you could see where the nectar is. So yes, not everybody has this capability. People have been seeing for lifetimes and they still cannot see the nectar. But you saw it in just 10 minutes. So
but one time I was sitting at his feet because he had told us in Harinam Chintamani, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, you should chant 1 hour a day in the presence of a saint. Because without the presence of a sadhu, the pure name will not come, only Namaparad or Namabhas. So I made it a habit every day to go and chant at his feet in Bhubaneswar whenever I was there. So I would sit maybe like 2 meters away from him, not to disturb him. And then, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, you should become absorbed, see the sadhu, or he's absorbed, observe, trying to imbibe his mood, because sadhu sangha means to imbibe the mood of the sadhu. So one time I was chanting like that at his feet, and it dawned on me that I had very strong emotion. I thought, I think I have already been in his presence, but it cannot be in this lifetime. So I just ventured to disturb him and say, oh, Guru Maharaj, can I ask something? He said, yes. He said, could it be that in the previous birth, I was your disciple, but because of sinful activities or offense, I took birth in the West, but somehow you came to pick me up when you came to Paris? And he started to cry. And he said, you and me, we have an eternal relationship.
Wow.
He did not explain because he was too, and I was also, my voice was choked. He said, no, otherwise, how can you explain that from the first time we met, there was such a strong mutual attraction? But he did not explain. I don't know what he meant. Wow. But for me, I'm convinced he's my eternal well-wisher.
So nice. And I like your such honesty, Maharaji. You said that when you met Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj, you were so honest, telling him that you love Gour Govind Maharaj more than him. And he was, instead of getting offended, he felt good. He said, yes, he's your main guru. So this is so sweet to be honest about yourself in front of your guru and Siksha gurus. We should learn from this, that how you're to be honest to yourself and to your guru. That's really nice.
And after Narayan Maharaj left, I took shelter of one of his Siksha disciple, Srila Bhaktivinoda Madhusudan Maharaj. Yes. He lives in Vrindavan in a small Krishna Balaram temple in Sevakunj.
Yes, yes.
Actually, or Srila Prabhupada was doing puja sometime in that temple when the pujari had to go to Delhi or Mathura for some court litigation, because many people were claiming the temple was them. So all Prabhupada was there. And when someone asked, oh, Prabhupada, why did you, build this big Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan? He said, because there's only a small one in Vrindavan. I wanted a big one for Krishna Balaram. And the small one he was referring to is that Krishna Balaram temple where my present Siksha Guru, Srila Bhaktivinoda Madhusudan Maharaj, is living. He's a disciple of one of the Prabhupada's godbrothers, and Siksha and Sannyas disciple of Srila Narayan Maharaj.
I've heard him also during when Maharaj was there. He's amazing. When he talks about Ras Tattva, Bhaktivedanta Madhusudan Maharaj, my God, he's
also
amazing.
you're connected with him.
Yeah, I've heard him, but I've not done too much association. But when Gurudev was here, Gurudev used to ask him to speak, and he would speak one after another. And I met him few days back. Also, went to him, and I just went to see him.
Oh, because you're fortunate. If you connected with Madhusudan Maharaj, and you get the link after Srila Gurudev Narayan Maharaj.
So nice. You have spoken so many nice things, Maharaj. I want. I've made a lot of notes what you were speaking. So maybe I'd like to say a few things. I already spoke about next day after Samadhi, you took a train and took shelter Bhakti and Narayan Maharaj Ji. Touched me so much how smart you are immediately without any waste of time. And then about the initiation which took place, Gour Govind Maharaj said, what is this? Take it as a dream.
Yes.
Initiation never took place. Who can say that? The person who is established in the truth, he can only speak with so much confidence.
Yes.
And then you talked about Prachanna Ritvik Vad. Gurudev was so much against it. And he wrote a book also about this, and that this is not correct Siddhanta. And then I was amazed when you said that Pujapad Maharaj told you not to leave ISKCON before 1996.
Yes.
And that was way earlier than 1996. So he knew that he's going to leave this world in 1996.
Probably. He told me that in 95.
Oh, okay.
A few months before he left. That was it. Because I used to go to Bhubaneswar every autumn with the family. Like, when September, October was coming, okay, now it's time to go. Next time, no, next operation again.
So these Mahabhagavas, they are in full control of their living and coming to this world. They decide when to leave, like our Gurudev did, and they leave at their opportune good time for them.
Yes.
So yeah, and then the way you described how he left, it is so most amazing. I think living in Mayapur, speaking very high Harikatha, all the separation evaporated. Kirtan karo, he said, and then he left. My God, this is simply amazing. I mean, at that moment when Radha and Krishna was meeting, and in the front, when the kirtan is going on, he left just like that. And nothing can be better than this, to leave this world. I think this only shows the way a person leaves the world, shows how the person is, how he lived this life. So
yes,
it clearly shows that he's a very, very high Mahabhagat.
Tattva Acharya from birth to departure. Yes. His whole life was teaching.
Yeah, not only his whole life, but his whole lineage. He said mother's side were pure devotees for many centuries.
Yes, yes.
And you said he was already a scholar when he came to Prabhupada. He was not like us looking for a guru. He was already at that level. Yes. So it's so amazing. And in the first meeting, he said, Prabhupada said, have you taken sannyas? I will give you sannyas. I mean, how can somebody say in the first meeting like this? It's amazing. I'm totally amazed at whatever you said today, so much of it. I mean, in this life, I have met Prabhupada only a few times, you said. And you pray to Prabhupada, please send me a sadhu whom I can send, few new disciples. Please send me one nice sadhu. And Siksha Guru for myself. And Prabhupada heard your voice and he sent you this. And then you described 40 minutes, he talked, and then he said, now let's start the class.
Yes, that was most amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Like in Bhubaneswar, he would glorify the Bhagavatam for 20 minutes, with verses, then he would start the class.
And the most freaking thing for me is, are you not praying to Prabhupada for this? You are praying to Prabhupada for help. He asked me to help. So how he read your mind?
Yes,
I mean, he's reading you and he's replying in words. And then Guru is Radha Priya Sakhi, the concept he gave openly. Of course, our Gurudev used to talk about it all the time, but he gave it. And then this is most amazing. I was praying in silence, but he was replying with words. I mean, look at that, how he's reading and replying also. Amazing. Mountain of renunciation, you said. Ideal sannyasi. And his class was like full meal, Oriya class, then English class, and half an hour after Katha, he took to walk to his residence from Vyasasana. He would talk so much. Like it shows that he was totally engrossed in the Hari Katha and the Leelas, that he forgot that he has to reach his place. He's just stopping and then talking to people. Half an hour to reach there. And you said any subject he touched, he would make it live. He would play the part of everyone, like who's talking, this is talking, and like he has seen the Leela, not heard it. Yes. The greed of Lord, and this is also so amazing. I never heard this before. I just heard first time from you. The greed of Lord up to Narsingh, there is no parents, and after that, the Lord started accepting parents.
Yes.
So this is.
I think this is in Mathura meets Vrindavan, or maybe the Embankment of Separation. One of those two books.
One of the books which Maharaj wrote.
Yes. Or mostly the books, they're lectures that devotees have put together from his lectures, you know.
Okay, I have read only one book. I think after your Gurudev leaves, he wrote some small thin booklet. I got this time from Mayapur. But now I am inspired by your talk to read all of his books and maybe go more deep into it.
Where do you live, Prabhuji?
I'm in Delhi, Maharajji.
Oh, in Delhi. Oh,
yes.
You are neighbor to Vrindavan, 3 hours.
Yes, yes. I have to go often now, yes.
Oh, so you can see Srila Madhusudan Maharaj.
Yes, yes.
Don't miss his association.
Okay, I'll take a word, Maharajji, for sure.
Nectar is flowing there.
Then you said jivas don't fall from spiritual world. I mean, even during Gurudev's time, this topic was so much for discussion. And yes. Maharajji was so strongly, he wrote the Journey of the Soul book for this. And I'm surprised that Gour Govind Maharaj is already talking about this in ISKCON. Now ISKCON, sometimes they had different ideas. And GBC meeting voted on the Siddhanta. That was so funny. You talked by votes, you can make God also a dog. So this is not something which you have to vote. This has to come from a realized person. It does not come from idiots like us. I mean, what does our vote count? We don't know anything.
Yes.
So yes, it has to be, even one realized person is there, he can tell the truth among thousands of people who are not realized. So this is so funny that you establish a Siddhanta by vote. It's not a politics. And you said only one person speaking, no one falls from the spiritual world. And I think that was Maharaj only speaking that time in ISKCON, right?
Yes, he was the only one.
So how bold, I mean, how truthful and bold. This only shows that the people who are established in the truth, they will never lie. They will always speak the truth regardless how much opposition they have. Like Gurudev, he always spoke the truth regardless whatever cost he has to pay. But he would only speak the truth.
Yeah, the same thing with Gurudev, because some ISKCON gurus of his followers, they ask him, please don't print Jeva Dharma.
Yes.
Oh, why? Because in Jeva Dharma, it's clear we don't fall from the spiritual world. So when you come to the West, please don't speak on this. He said, no, I cannot compromise.
Yes, I heard Gurudev say once this thing, that one of the ISKCON senior sannyasis came to him and he said, we will accept you in ISKCON, we'll make you a big leader, we'll give you everything. Only one thing you have to do. Just don't say that we come from this world. Like jivas come from the spiritual world. He said, I cannot compromise anything. You can keep everything to yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gour Govind was like that. Sadhu means no compromise.
Yeah.
So
and then you said you were thinking about your beautiful house, 32 acres of land, and then Maharaj caught you immediately in the whole assembly. And it's so surprising. He said, yes, eating stool in your mind and enjoying.
Yes.
Oh my God, that is so freaking. It is so amazing that he catches at the moment immediately.
The first time I came to Bhubaneswar in 1990, I stayed for, I think, 1 month. Yeah, because I had just a baby boy at the time. So I think 1990, or no, just a second child, a little girl was just born when so I left anyway. I said, I have to go and see. So wife gave permission. And then he made me sit for 1 month in front of him. And he would give the whole class looking at me in the eyes. And if I would put down my eyes, he said, oh, dare you, who gave you permission to put down your eyes?
Oh, yeah. Oh my God.
And sometimes I would come on purpose late and I would sit at the back to listen to the class, to enjoy the class. And as soon as he would spot me, say, "Hey, you come here." And people would make way and say, "Prabhu, please take the hot spot." They used to call it the hot seat. Take the hot seat.
Okay.
The seat of operation.
Yes. I remember Gurudev also used to say, don't sit on the side or behind your guru. You sit always in the front because he is transferring his energy through his eyes.
Also through the eyes. Yeah, Gurudev, you said.
Yeah. So I think you got a lot of Shubh Drashti from Gour Govind Maharaj. I can see in your talk that you are blessed by him and you could speak so nicely. And you said you only not spoken much, you can speak much more. So maybe some other opportune time will call you again to hear
next year,
more
maybe.
about this. Yes, yes.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Maharaji. Thank you so much for being with us. And I'm so happy that I called you. And we'll call you again on the next Tithi of Gour Govind Maharaj. And we are so inspired by your life, by how you left 32 acres of land and your beautiful house in France and your beautiful family. And you are doing such beautiful bhajan. We are so inspired by the way you're doing bhajan, and maybe someday we can also follow in your footsteps. Dandavat Pranam Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Srila Gour Govind Maharaj ki jai. Tithi Mahotsav ki jai. Thank you so much. All my,
yes, thank
you
you so
Indian
much.
devotees, you're all my seniors because you born in Bharat. I'm from Javan, Lechastan, but you born in the land of Dharma, and I'm born in the land of Pap. So please, be merciful to me.
Maharaj, the association is everything. You have done associated with so many Mahabhagavats, so many of them, and not only you have done such intimate association. So anybody who associates is always on a higher pedestal, and it is always he is to be worshipped.
I'm so ashamed to have had so much association and to have made so little progress on the path. But I'm still trying, after almost 50 years, still trying to become a devotee.
Dandavat Pranam Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
My Dandavat Pranams to all the listeners also, and my thanks to them. Tomorrow we are going to have Madhur Smriti program, remembrance of our Srila Gurudev. We'll have Bhakti Vedanta Radharaman Babaji Maharaj. He was Sudarshan Prabhu before in our mutt. He sings really very sweetly, very well.
Oh yes, I remember him.
Yes, he'll be with us tomorrow at 8 p.m.
But they will speak in Hindi probably, no?
Yes, Maharaj. We've been doing this program for more than 8 months every day. A lot of every day one devotee comes and speaks about Srila Gurudev. He remembers his life with Srila Gurudev and his pastimes with him.
Really?
Yes.
For 8 months?
Yes, it's 8 months, and maybe I don't know how long it will go. Gurudev is doing all this.
So I have missed so much nectar then.
It is all available on the YouTube channel, Fond Memories of Srila Gurudev.
Achha.
You can always go, and there's no time limit. People speak for 1.5 to 2 hours. So you don't stop, and only one person every day.
Avashya dekhenge.
Yes, yes. So Fond Memories of Srila Gurudev, and this will also be uploaded on that channel very soon. It is already there because we are going live, so it is already on the channel.
Only a few days ago, one Ajay Prabhu has contacted me.
I am Ajay only.
Oh, you Ajay, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Ajay Krishnadas Maharaj.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai. Vaishnav ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrand ki jai. Harinam.
All glories to the assembled devotees.
Bhakti Srila Gour Govind Maharaj ki jai. Tadiya Bhakti ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari.
Jai Jai.